So Carlos Alcaraz, Madrid Open champion. Carlos, Charlie, whatever you want to call him, smashes Alexander Zverev in the final, who really didn't put up much resistance at all. And it's just so incredible to think about a 19-year-old going through Nadal, Djokovic, and then just crushing Zverev, one of the top names in tennis for the last 5 years, to win the Masters 1000 when literally none of us even knew about him 2 years ago. So it's absolutely unreal. I got 3 thoughts for today. Carlos smashing Zverev to win Madrid, amazing run. Is it helped, though, by the fact that Djokovic, Nadal are not at the top forms? And did he have a little bit easier time with these guys than some of the other next-gen players like Tsitsipas, Thiem, Zverev coming in to challenge the big three when they were more at their prime? Zverev was gracious in defeat, but he absolutely roasted the ATP after the tournament in his press conference about the scheduling. Is that legit? And Alcaraz skips Rome to focus on preparing and getting ready for Roland Garros. And what are his chances at a major? He's obviously now a top name and contender. Can he do it over 5 sets? Those are my thoughts. Let's get into them on The Slice. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to The Slice.
All right, people, a little Monday cool down after a busy weekend in Madrid. Rome has already started up. I was just in Rome, as I told you on the last video, gathering information on the action, getting around players, seeing how they're warming up and stuff, and just enjoying the city. So that was an awesome time. Subscribe if you haven't not already. Like this video, it helps us out a ton. And consider joining Europass, where I have some exclusive behind the scenes coming up on our channel very shortly to bring you as close to the action as possible. Also, 10% off Go Sport, the best bags in the business. Okay, short video today. 3 thoughts on the most pressing issues at hand. So Charlie Alcaraz wins Madrid. He's obviously a top contender now on the men's side of the game without any doubt about it. The run he's made to the top, the ascension he's made here in 2022 is the most incredible thing I've seen in the last 10 years of covering tennis as far as a young guy breaking through. And it's absolutely not normal. My one thought I've had today is Djokovic was not at his best, obviously. Nadal had only played 2 matches since coming back from an injury. Is Alcaraz having a bit easier time breaking through those 2 guys than Thiem, Tsitsipas, Zverev did when they first came on? Because they were having to battle these guys when they were 2-3 years younger, more in their prime, and they would, beat a Federer, but then they'd run into a Nadal, or they beat a Djokovic, then they'd run into a Nadal, or vice versa. And I think it is true that Carlos is capitalizing a bit on this window of Djokovic and Nadal being a little bit off, Federer being out. That is not to take anything away from what he's doing, and I think he's going to continue to prove going forward that this is going to be the status quo, and he's going to be the biggest challenge for these guys going forward. Aside from each other. Zverev was gracious in defeat on the court, super nice words on the court, but then in the press conference after the tournament, he actually roasted the ATP, and in my opinion, pretty fairly. He said, I went to bed at 4 a.m. and then even 5:20 a.m. the night before the final, or basically the morning of the final. And that wouldn't be so bad if both guys played at the same time, but on the Saturday, it was the men's final with Alcaraz or semifinal with Alcaraz and Djokovic starting at 4 o'clock, then the women's final, and then the second semifinal, which makes no sense. It's just a competitive disadvantage for one player to be kept up that late and have less time to prepare for the final. So while Carlos might have won anyways, and Zverev said that, Zverev really had no chance to physically prepare for the final, and it would have been an insane effort if he had actually ended up winning it. So brutal preparation by the ATP, and I just don't understand how that's happening now when they have all this effort going into planning and risk management. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I agree with Zverev's complaints there, and I think he's totally fair to air them. Finally, Alcaraz skipping Rome is smart. You just can't. That's pretty obvious, I think, to most people. He did roll his ankle in the Madrid route to the final, to the victory, and he's played so much tennis on clay. So he's tired. He's only 19, obviously, so he can recover quickly, but preparing for Roland Garros makes total sense, as he's now a top competitor there, a top challenger. It's not like, he's now number 6 in the world, and he's won Madrid and Barcelona, and Miami before that. So he's the hottest player in tennis coming into this tournament. We'll see what happens at Rome, but I think giving his body a rest makes total sense, and he's going to have to prove, going at Roland Garros, can he go the distance? Can he go deep into a tournament in 5 sets? Will his body hold up? Because he pulled out at the US Open, and he hasn't really gone deep yet in a major. So that's the next big question for Alcaraz to answer. But if it goes anything like we've been seeing, he's going to answer it, and he's going to show out big time at Roland Garros. And I think he's doing the right thing to prepare for it. So what do you think? Do you think Alcaraz is capitalizing on a little bit of a weak moment for Nadal Djokovic? Or is that just ridiculous to say anything about that? We should just be basking in the glory that is Charlie Alcaraz, smashing everyone in his path. It was so big of him to win against Nadal, but then I think it was even bigger to win against Djokovic. It was such a tight match. In so many ways, he could have lost that and just let Djokovic's strength push, just be like, oh, I'll get Djokovic next time. Nobody would have batted an eye. The mental strength it takes to win that is just crazy at 19, and then just follow it up with a routine performance over Zverev. Is that legit to say that maybe he's capitalizing on a bit of a soft spot, or is that just crazy? Let me know. What do you think about Zverev's complaints? Obviously, Zverev would complain about that. I would too. And the ATP, in my opinion, is totally out of whack with that scheduling. And it also shafts the women too, because they have to wait for their final, which makes no sense. So it should be women, and then 2 semifinal, and then they're both closer together at night going to bed. And then lastly, do you agree with Alcaraz's decision to skip Rome? Let me know in the comments section below. Stay tuned this week to our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter for more coverage of the ATP and WTA in Rome and leading up to the Roland Garros tournament. I will be in Geneva next week to cover the Geneva Open, where we got Daniil Medvedev playing, Dominic Thiem, Denis Shapovalov, Riley Opelka, all these amazing players. So get stuck into our coverage of that and look forward to it by joining Europass down below. Thanks for your support. We'll see you next time here on The Slice.